Welcome back to part 2 of the ultimate 3-day itinerary for Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks. In part 1, we shared the best things to do in Sequoia National Park along with a stay recommendation within the national park itself. In this final part, we continue our journey on day 2 towards Kings Canyon National Park and will stop at the best spots along the way. Wait to see a unique cave tour at the end. Let's go! Our first stop, which may or may not be inside the park, the Kings Canyon Overlook. Are we there yet?
Yes, the Kings Canyon Overlook actually overlooks the Sequoia National Forest, but on this side is the Kings Canyon National Park. This is about a 5 square miles area with almost 2,100 giant sequoias in there.
Right after the King Canyon Overlook, you will see directions for Hume Lake. It is a 9-mile drive inside the Sequoia National Forest, and we are driving on it right now. So let's check it out.
Is it cold?
A little, but it feels good. It's good to go off your set itinerary and explore something unexpected.
We were planning to only explore the Kings Canyon National Park and Sequoia National Park, but we made the most of our drive through the Sequoia National Forest as well. And look where we ended up. There's nobody around us, and all this beauty is all to ourselves. And it's so much fun dipping our feet into some cold water after a long, tiring hiking day. And now we've driven on the other side of the Hume Lake, and the view is gorgeous. You'll also find a couple of restaurants and a lot of cabins around here. So if you're looking to stay overnight, this looks like a real wonderful place to do that. We wish we could have done that too, but we are off to another lodge of Kings Canyon National Park itself.
We have arrived at Grand Grove and we'll be checking in a bit at the John Muir Lodge. Meanwhile, we thought of grabbing dinner at their restaurant area. Currently, the indoor seating is closed, but they have set up this lovely courtyard dining space. They have a self-help kiosk where you can place your order and make your payment.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
And good night. Let's go enjoy it in our room.
So we just checked in to our room at the John Muir Lodge. It's a standard double queen room, and to be completely honest, we are not that impressed. I think it's decent enough for the night. As soon as you enter, here's the bathroom area on the left and the vanity outside. Over here, there's a refrigerator and a TV along with a dining table. The window is overlooking the parking lot and the blinds are in a terrible shape. There are 2 queen beds. And that's about it. So that's just my first impression. We'll know tomorrow how the room really is. Good morning, guys. After staying in both the lodges in Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park, here's our honest review about that.
At the Wuxaki Lodge, our room was more impressive than the one here. Probably because it was a deluxe room, so we can't compare apples and oranges. But we definitely did see the difference in terms of service as well. The room at Wuxaki was more spacious, had really comfortable beds, and even the bathrooms were updated. The buildings over there were pretty spread out, so we didn't come across other visitors. It was isolated in a good way.
Here at the John Muir Lodge, as soon as we entered, everything felt very old. Not in an antique vintage way, but more like in a dilapidated way, because the switches in the rooms are very old.
Blinds didn't close completely.
Also, our room was very close to the lounge area, and so we crossed a lot of people crossing the hallways.
In a national park, you generally wouldn't expect good Wi-Fi. At the Wuxaki Lodge, the Wi-Fi was pretty good, but over here we had trouble reconnecting constantly.
So overall, we would suggest that if you want to stay at a lodge, keep in mind that you are staying here because of convenience and not comfort as much, because you want to be very close to all the national park attractions, get a head start to your day, and also be very close to the restaurant option. So with that, now let's start our day 3 exploring more of Kings Canyon National Park.
Let's go. We grabbed breakfast from the same courtyard dining area, and it's a good idea to start with a heavy breakfast for a good hiking day ahead.
Another thing to know is that there's also some cabins available in the Grand Grove area here. We were on the lookout for this, but all of them were sold out for the dates that we were looking at. These definitely seem more pandemic friendly as these are all isolated. But of course, you might have to share a common bathroom and restroom. Our first stop for the day is at the Kings Canyon Visitor Center. We'll be picking up some stamps and any information that we need for the day. Our first quick trail for today is the Big Stump Groove Trail. It passes through a lot of trees that are cut down, and the most interesting one is this one right here. This is called the Mark Twain tree, and this was cut by the army in 1891 so that it could be displayed in New York and London to crowds who've never seen and believed that sequoia trees, which are this big, really exist. So what do you think about this trail?
That was a good spot to see, but definitely not worth walking through an entire trail filled with mosquitoes and flies. I have to repurpose my mask and my bandana for saving myself from them. We are at General Grant tree. This is the world's third largest tree by volume at about 1,300 cubic meter. It is also the world's widest sequoia tree with a diameter of 40 feet.
Look at those fire scars at the base of the tree. So profound. That was a nice and short walk to the prime attraction, which is General Grant Tree. But in addition to that, on the loop, you can also look at a fallen sequoia tree, which is hollow from inside, and you can walk through it. That was pretty cool. You could also check out the Camlin cabin and read up some history on that. Also, there was a centennial stump. It was cut out to be shown on the East Coast for the Philadelphia Centennial exhibition. But the folks on the East Coast did not believe and just called it California hoax. So I think it was a nice and short walk, and with that we'll now keep driving east towards the Cedar Grove area. We're having our lunch with a view. On our way to Cedar Grove, we took a halt at Boyden Cavern. We just wanted to get a picnic table and have some lunch that we picked up earlier today. Since we also have some time towards the end of the day, we've reserved a Boyden Cavern tour for 4 p.m. So we are going to come back once we are done exploring the Kings Canyon National Park on the Cedar Grove side. We started driving towards the Kings Canyon National Park side and just couldn't resist stopping for this cascading waterfalls out here.
We finally driven all the way to the east side of the Kings Canyon National Park, and we parked our car at the road's end.
Road's End is literally the road's end here where wilderness areas begin. You need a permit to get out on a multi-day hiking trip that could be as long as 43 miles long. Since we only have half a day here, we will be exploring a few spots, and our first spot over here is going to be the Muir Rock. The Zumwalt Meadow trail is very interesting because it has all these granite rocks on the floor towards the end of the trail. There's a bridge at the very beginning that can get you on this side of the Kings Canyon River. But as soon as you cross this trail, this is the Zumwalt Meadow.
Our next Next stop is the Roaring River Fall. As you can hear, it's so loud. It's a 40 feet tall waterfall from the river. Let's go. Boyden Cavern is one of the few marble caves in this country, and it is only accessible via a tour. The tour was packed with intriguing info, and watching different formations was so much fun.
So when you look at the bare walls inside the marble cave, sometimes you can see the blue, white, and gray patterns of the marble rock. This is called our stack of pancakes. You can see a couple of pancakes stacked up. There's some syrup dripping down the sides, and there's even a little butter melting on top. To go with our stack of pancakes from earlier, we have a little bit of cave bacon. If you look at this corner over here, you can see that bacon window.
In addition to those, we also saw the Christmas tree, wedding cake, and upside down city. The best part is the optional wild cave exit at the end.
Guys, we've been to Mammoth Cave National Park, we've been to Shenandoah Caverns, we've been to Muir Caverns, but never have we ever done something so exciting and cool like this inside a cave.
Ooh, finally my feet are in the water.
This one's deep. Oh yeah, it's cold.
Oh, this is so cold.
Wow. It's like we are in a cave inside a cave. Guys, this is so cool. Water is almost at shin level now, and it's cold. Wow. Okay, no more water. All right, we made it. That was a once in a lifetime experience. After that amazing tour at the Boyden Caverns, we started driving out and we are stopping at whichever vista point looks good to us. This one particularly is the Junction. Down there you can see that the Kings River splits into the middle fork that goes there and the south fork that goes in that direction. So that was it from our trip to the Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park. Before we wrap up this video, we wanted to share some tips for a hassle-free experience here.
Number 1. Download the NPS Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park app and download their offline maps to guide yourself through the different trails and self-guided information throughout the national park.
Number 2. Fill up your gas tank before you arrive in the national park because there are no gas stations available anywhere throughout the General's Highway or any of the interior roads.
Number 3. Make sure to carry enough food and water with you because some of the restaurants have very limited opening times. So just in case you miss the mark, you have some backup options.
Number 4. Check for road closures before you arrive here. During summer, almost all of the national park is open, but you'll see a lot of crowd as well. But during the shoulder season like spring and fall and the low season like winter, a lot of roads are closed because of snow and icy conditions. Hope you got value out of our experience here at the Kings Canyon and Sequoia National Parks. We hope this itinerary of ours helps you plan an amazing trip here. We are glad we wandered off the beaten path and discovered spots like Hume Lake and other natural attractions in Sequoia National Forest as well.
Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Comment down below if you would like to see a travel guide of some other national park in this country.
Until our next adventure in another national park, keep exploring.
At the Wuxashi Lodge, our room was Wuxaki.
In addition to that, you can also check out the what was the name of the cabin?
You just left her?
It's almost like a bucket of it. The Kings River flows through these awesome heighted. until our next adventure in another in another national park.